The Davy Back Fight wasn't just a silly game, it was major foreshadowing at what's coming in the final saga. His return is almost inevitable, and everything points towards Hachinosu and Blackbeard, with the Straw Hats as their opponents. Today I will explain why Teach and Luffy will play the Davy Back Fights, which characters Teach might want from the Straw Hats, and at the end of the video I'll show you the games Blackbeard might choose against Luffy and his crew. The Davy Back Fight was introduced on Long Ring Long Land, a strange and surreal island. While it seemed like comic relief, the arc introduced one of the oldest pirate rituals in the world of One Piece, a game where pirates risk their crewmates, their flag, and even their pride. This arc also introduced the name Davy Jones, a mythical figure tied to cursed pirates and lost treasures. 2 chapters ago, both Davy Jones and the Davy Back Fights were mentioned again, so this was a clear sign that the Long Ring Long Land wasn't filler. In this arc, we saw a preview of a game that will return, but this time with much higher stakes. Now, the most likely place for this to happen again is Hachinosu, also known as Pirate Island. This location connects directly to the Rock's pirates. Davy Back Fights were the main recruiting method used by Rock's Xebec, Teach's father, who, like Teach, once ruled over Hachinosu. Pirate Island is the perfect setting for a real Davy Back Fight. It's a place of violence, betrayal, and games of power. There are other reasons why this island is important, and one of them is Captain John's treasure. When Buggy was searching for this treasure, he mentioned it was hidden on a skull-shaped island. Most people, including me, believe that this island is Hachinosu, the island where Captain John once lived. It's Blackbeard's base after all, so I believe we're likely to see a Hachinosu arc soon. Garp's capture adds another layer. Many expect Blackbeard to kill him, but that outcome would not only be wasteful, it would be a poor narrative decision. Garp holds incredible symbolic value, both as Luffy's grandfather and as a hero of the previous generation. Killing him now would be senseless, both for Oda and for Blackbeard, so Teach will use him for something. But for what? There are many theories that Blackbeard will use Pudding's devil fruit to access Garp's memories of God Valley, but I don't think that'll happen. Most likely, Teach doesn't even know about Pudding's ability, and even if it does, I doubt he cares about God Valley's memories, because he already knows what happened during that incident. Every step he has taken as a pirate has been based on that knowledge. He knows what's needed and what mistakes to avoid. If you want to see more on this topic, check my previous video. It's also said that Blackbeard wants to use Garp as a bargaining chip with the world government. He wants Hachinosu to be recognized as a country, but we still don't know Teach's true intentions because attending a reverie doesn't sound like something he would want. He's already been to Marijoa once as a Shichibukai, and if he wanted to make a move, he would have. Plus, Katarina Devon already stole Saturn's appearance, so they already have the Abyss mark. No matter the reason, I believe Imu would never allow it. The fact that Imu couldn't eliminate Rocks decades ago likely suggests she's also unable to kill Blackbeard now. Maybe it's because of his devil fruit, his lineage, or maybe because they are Davy Jonesian pirates. Either way, Imu won't make the same mistake twice, and she definitely wouldn't go out of her way to save Garp. So I believe, in the end, Blackbeard will use Garp as a piece in the upcoming Davy Back Fight. Blackbeard is a master strategist. He doesn't need to break Luffy's spirit with violence, he can do it through emotional pressure. By using Garp, Luffy's grandfather and one of the few people he truly admires, as a hostage, Teach gains the ultimate leverage. Of course, Luffy doesn't want to play the Davy Back Fight again, but if he refuses, Garp dies. Luffy loves his friend, so it will be extremely difficult for him to take that risk, but I believe his crew will encourage him to go through with it. They believe in each other, and they'll help Luffy save his grandfather, even if he's a Marine. Blackbeard, on the other hand, risks nothing, and if he wins, there are a few characters who could be extremely useful for his plans. First, I will name the characters that Teach might need, and then I'll show you the possible games the Blackbeard pirates and the Straw Hats might play. Let's start with the most obvious candidate. Nico Robin. Robin is the key to the Void Century, the Rio Poneglyph, and the location of the One Piece. Without her, no one can find it. She's a character every crew needs. I believe this is also why Teach kidnapped Pudding, but her third eye hasn't awakened yet. And why should Teach wait for her when he can just take Robin instead? The next candidate, and probably my favorite option on the list, is Chopper. I know that might sound strange, but let me explain. Before I show all the reasons why Teach might need Chopper, let me remind you, back in the Long Ring Long Land arc, During the original Davy Back Fight, Foxy's crew chose Chopper as the Straw Hat to steal. At the time, it was played as a joke, but Oda rarely makes those kinds of choices randomly. Now we can see that this arc was full of foreshadowing. The clearest example was the reveal of Davy Jones, so what if Foxy choosing Chopper was foreshadowing as well? But why would Teach need Chopper, a character not even recognized by the world government? That, too, is a mysterious detail. Let's start with the moment Blackbeard invaded Drum Island. This wasn't a random act of destruction. Blackbeard never moves without a purpose. He's a man obsessed with devil fruits, especially ones with unique or unnatural abilities. So why Drum Island? It wasn't a strong military base or a valuable kingdom. It was remote and seemingly unimportant. But what was there? Dr. Hiriluk, Dr. Kureha, and Chopper. There's a good chance Blackbeard went there because he had intel about a very special Zoan fruit residing on the island. Maybe he didn't know exactly who had it, or maybe his timing was off, but it's entirely possible he was looking for the Hito Hito no Mi. Chopper was terrified that the Blackbeard pirates might come after his fruit. Usopp even laughed and said, why would they care about the Hito Hito no Mi? But looking back, that moment might have been foreshadowing. There was a really interesting symbolic detail in chapter 1156 where Oda revealed that rocks needed 2 specific devil fruits. The chapter number itself is telling. 11 equals Hito Hito, human. 56 equals Gomu, rubber. In Japanese Goro Awaze, which Oda loves a lot, these numbers read as the names of Luffy and Chopper's fruits. This is not a coincidence. What if Oda is subtly telling us that both Luffy's and Chopper's devil fruits are legendary, godly, or ancient in some way? We already know that Luffy's fruit was misnamed. It's not the Gomu Gomu no Mi, but the mythical Zoan Hito Hito no Mi model Nika. So what if Chopper's fruit is also a mythical Zoan? Maybe it's also the Hito Hito no Mi, but a different model. If Luffy is the sun god, Chopper could be the forest god. We've already seen hints that Chopper's awakening could be something special. His monster point might just be the beginning. What if his true awakening allows him to communicate with and command animals and nature? Otama can control animals with a paramecia fruit. What if Chopper, through a mythical Zoan awakening, could do something similar but on a global scale? In Norse mythology, gods like Freyr ruled over forests, animals, and fertility. And Elbaf, with its deep Norse myth parallels, might be the perfect place for Chopper to discover his true power. Chopper could even end up healing not just people, but the land itself. And this role truly fits the forest god, especially in a world moving towards one final war. Chopper may seem cute, weak, or comedic, but that's exactly the kind of misdirection Oda loves to use. Just like how Luffy's goofy rubber fruit turned out to be the power of a sun god, Chopper's fruit might be hiding the power of a forest god. Let's move on to the next candidate. Let's talk about Zoro. I could never imagine Zoro joining the Blackbeard pirates. The same goes for Robin and Chopper, but it makes sense why Teach might target those two. In Zoro's case, the only reason Teach might choose him is his power. And the only reason I included Zoro on this list is because of the similarities I found between him and the Blackbeard pirates. The Blackbeard pirates don't worry about risks, they just trust that fate is on their side. For example, in Impel Down, they were incredibly reckless and nearly died from Magellan's poison, but they had faith in their fate. And in the end, Shiryu saved them. Zoro is the same. He's been shown multiple times throughout the series to have a strong belief in destiny and fate. He risked losing his left arm just to choose the right sword. Even now, in Elbaf, he said that if Loki is dead, then that was simply his fate. Zoro is incredibly honorable. He's Luffy's most loyal crewmate, but at the same time, he's the kind of person who would accept his fate if he had no choice but to join the Blackbeard pirates. We saw a perfect example of this in the previous Davy Back Fight, when he told Chopper to man up and accept it after the Foxy pirates picked him. Another funny parallel is that the Blackbeard pirates are all heavy drinkers. Vasco Shot's nickname is literally the Heavy Drinker. Kuzan joined the crew while drinking with them, and unlike most Straw Hats, Zoro is a heavy drinker as well. Of course, I don't actually think Zoro would ever join Blackbeard in any timeline, but I just wanted to highlight these similarities. Now let's talk about Nami. She seems to have a mysterious past, and there are many theories that she's a lost princess. Teach might know something about this, but even if the Blackbeard pirates manage to get Nami, she's not like Zoro. She would just sneak off the ship the moment she had the chance. Frankie is another possible target. He holds the blueprints to Pluton and is the shipwright of the Thousand Sunny. But even with that, I still believe Teach's main targets would be either Robin or Chopper. Now, let's talk about the possible games Blackbeard might choose against the Straw Hats. The Davy Back Fight is known for featuring a variety of different events, each with specialized rules and victory conditions. But all the games we've seen so far are childish games made brutal. I would compare it to Squid Game. Games everyone has played as kids, but with a few rule tweaks that decide if you live or die. We saw Hit and Dead Ball, which is very similar to regular dodgeball. Dodge Touch Mr. Daruma is basically the Japanese version of Red Light Green Light. Most of you probably know it from Squid Game. Groggy Ring is like street football but with extra rules and so on. Based on this, I believe we can predict some of the games we might see in Blackbeard's Davy Back Fights. I also think Oda has already given us a hint about one of them. During Rocksteady Xebec's time participating, he was shown winning a one-on-one game involving an axe and a helmet, similar to Tataite Kabute Jankenpon. It's regular rock paper scissors with an extra rule. The winner has to hit the loser's head with a toy hammer before the loser can protect themselves with a helmet. As Rox's son, I believe Teach will use this game against the Straw Hats, and he has a few great crewmates for this. Avalo Pizarro with his Devil Fruit, Jesus Burgess, and the most obvious one, San Juan Wolf. Another game I believe Teach will choose is Tug of War. Two teams pull on opposite ends of a rope, trying to drag the other team over a line or into the water. Jesus Burgess, who ate the Riki Riki no Mi, a devil fruit that grants him superhuman strength, is perfect for this game. In the game Capture the Flag, the odds would also be in Blackbeard's favor. In this game, teams try to capture the other team's flag and bring it back without getting tagged. For this game, Teach has Shiryu, who ate the Suke Suke no Mi devil fruit, which grants him the power of invisibility. Katarina Devon, with her ability to transform into clones of people, will be very useful. And don't forget Lafitte and his hypnotizing abilities. Even though it's hard to predict Blackbeard's exact goals, I'm almost certain that we'll see the Davy Back Fight return in the story. Oda wouldn't introduce something like that, bring it up again a few chapters ago, and then just drop it forever. We'll be seeing another Davy Back Fight soon for sure. Another reason I believe Oda will bring these games back is the hype around Squid Game. Of course, he's not doing it just because of the hype, but I still believe it plays a small role in his decision making. On one side, we'll have the Blackbeard Pirates. The other side is still uncertain, but for me, the most obvious answer is the Straw Hat Pirates. Let me know what you think about this theory in the comments, and if you want to learn more about the two most important devil fruits in One Piece, check out this video right here. Thanks for watching. Bye.